Hello and welcome to South of King's Landing Explosion Network's House of the Dragon after show, where we break down and discuss each and every episode of House of the Dragon. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me, Hand of the King, Dead Hand of the King, Ashley Hobley.
Hey, John, excited to be here for the series finale, I guess. She's on the throne. It's all over.
It is all over, Red Rover, as they like to say. There is no more. Who would have thought it took nearly 2 years to get 2 episodes?
Yep.
And that's it. All dusted. Yeah, let's get into it, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what. Oh, sorry, I don't have the episode title on me. Well, I did, and then the Google Chrome decided to
do that.
crash on me. Love that for me. Fuck you. It is titled Queen's Landing. That makes sense. Queen's Landing. Directed by Claire Kilner, and this episode was written by Sarah Hess. What did you make of this week's episode, this week's season finale?
Yeah. Good episode. Like, obviously we kicked things off with the ramifications of last week and the death of Jace and all that kind of stuff. So all that was really solid. I guess to a point I was kind of like, where is this episode ultimately leading to? And then it leads to Rhaenyra taking back King's Landing to an extent, although seeing Alicent's machinations during this episode, it's kind of like, what's she doing?
Yeah.
What is her plan? She hasn't thought any of this through, which is a bit bewildering and that kind of stuff. It was good to see more Matt Smith this week. It was cool to have Damon heavily featured this week. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode overall.
I mean, yeah, I thought it was great. We've had bang to back bangers to start off the third season. Definitely similar to what I was saying last week, putting the complainers of season 2 being lackluster and action to bed a bit. I thought Emma Darcy was obviously standout in this episode, especially their performance at the start of the episode, seeing Jace's dead body and everything like that. So that was really good. And then, as I said, we got more Matt Smith, Damon. And then, just an ending that leaves you going, okay, what do we do now? It's 2 seasons and 2 episodes of sort of her leading up to being on the throne, and now she's on the throne. So it sort of leaves you going, where's the story going to go?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, without even... The thing is, I don't know the exact direction the story is going to go. We've talked about before how we haven't read the books. Well, I read like 2 books, which doesn't count for anything like this. But still, I just... Knowing the world and everything, I just assume it all goes bad for everyone eventually. So there'll be a period of time where I guess this is good, and then everyone's going to die eventually. Is my in Game of Thrones, right? This is all going to end. All right, I'm reading this week's recap from where to find a good one I like, wmagazine.com. So that's where I'm reading from. Link in the show notes. Sometimes I just click through and go, this one seems the best. Yep. So episode 2 begins with the aftermath of the Battle of Gullet as Baylor returns to Dragonstone, Jace's body. Upon seeing her dead son, Rhaenyra makes her way through the stages of grief, or mostly just denial, anger, and then depression. Rhaenyra has now lost 2 sons as a result of this civil war, so she's understandably questioning the point of it all. She's fighting for the crown, but what does the crown matter without her family and without a successor to eventually take her place? Which is a good question.
I mean,
that whole thing.
Damon have a son, right? Or a child.
Yeah, but I mean, that was her first, she's lost. I guess the thing is she keeps losing her.
I think Emma Darcy, incredible performance here, because, it is a case of her going through the multiple stages of grief. Obviously, because his death is ultimately because he didn't listen to her orders and went out by himself, against her wishes. So she feels that element of guilt and also takes it out on everybody around. But also it's interesting because obviously her first son was eaten whole, effectively. So this is the first time she's seen the dead body of one of
her family. Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I think that performance, that getting the anger out before eventually, kind of letting the grief hit, I think was really effective.
Yeah, really, really good performance for Emma.
Mm-hmm.
Then Damon shows up and sort of questions, will you let them die in vain? And then pairs that with the I don't know what's more important here. Her being asked, will you let them die in vain, or us, or him bringing up the Song of Ice and Fire and saying that he believes in that, because obviously that was a duty and stuff like that. So it sort of felt like that was the sort of the big push he needed,
I mean, fate will make you do crazy.
Yeah.
If you believe it's something, strongly enough, I guess it'll push you through the most hard times. But I think it was a combination of all the factors to eventually, get her out of that bed. It's totally fair that the first time we see her post Jace, she's just curled up in that bed, like wanting to
die,
mope as much as possible.
Yeah, if ice cream was around
in that time,
she would have had a bucket.
At least.
Do they ever show people smoking cigarettes in Game of Thrones universe? Tobacco doesn't exist in this universe. I was just trying to think.
No, not cigarettes. Maybe like a pipe or something like that.
Pipe or something. I was just
surely somebody smokes something.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Like, land is.
Surely all these craven people in the bottom of whatever the shady corners of
this show
King's
can
Landing,
have. This
they've
show
found some sort of drug to
something to smoke.
take.
Yeah. Maybe it's a Dothraki, that side of the universe, whatever that side's called. Across the sea or whatever, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Rhaenyra, meanwhile, finds herself in an even worse situation in the last episode. Yes, she now has a dragon, but that dragon just caused the death of her cousin, stepbrother, sister's betrothed. Sorry. And at this point, no one knows it was she who swept in on Sheepstealer during the battle. So she attempts to hide out in the Vale, but Lady Jane Arryn is hardly an empath and sends her away. At least with Sheepstealer by side, Rhaenyra will always have something to eat. What do you think is going to happen with her?
I don't know. I think it's interesting because obviously she has the family ties, but she's also kind of betrayed them by not on purpose, but like she is directly responsible for Jace.
But how do you explain that? I guess
how do you explain? Oh, I got this dragon that I can't really control and decided to put him in this dangerous, crazy situation. I mean, it was a fucked up decision to get involved anyway. You didn't trust that two people, experienced people with dragons, would be able to take out a bunch of ships. So I don't know. She could go either way. Maybe she becomes like this, outside force, like an independent outside force. I mean,
I really don't know. I mean, the last time she's ever brought up is obviously, Damon says he'll hunt for her before they go take the Iron Throne. So I presume we're going to.
Well, that's before he knew. They know, of course. They don't know exactly who it is. So I mean,
but they have more. They have enough information. She's pleading to Lady Arryn that no one knows it's her. But of course, she's like, you're an idiot if you think that no one's going to be able to track down someone flying around on a rogue, untamable dragon.
No one's ever seen before.
Yeah. Over on Driftmark, the other Valyrian family members continue the search of the battlefield in an attempt to confirm whether or not Jace was the only major casualty of the conflict. Alan leads the charge in looking for Corlys, who has not been seen since he fell overboard at the hands of Lahar. The abandoned son is joined by his half-niece Baela and his newly ordained dragon-riding brother Adam. They're successful in their hunt and discover Corlys mostly unharmed. In return for his bravery, Corlys finally bestows the Valyrian name on Alan. No word if Adam gets it too. B seems to be doing okay with the dragon and all. So as I said last week, no body, no death.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty not too shocking to see he survived, to be honest. I was like, no, I didn't buy that.
No. I mean, it was a weird cut. They're like searching for him, and then the next time we see them all together, they're just hanging out on the beach.
Mm.
Could
It was
have
a bit of a
had
hard cut.
could have had at least shown you them finding him or something.
No, maybe he just washed up.
He's just washed up. He was just chilling on a beach when they found him, I guess, maybe.
But it was a nice
possible.
moment where he says the only thing I've got to offer you is my name or whatever, because obviously all his riches were burnt down, his collection of treasures. And Adam says that's worth more than the weight of gold or whatever he says. That was a nice moment at least. As the Dance of Dragons continues moving forward, there's a parallel storyline taking place that seems it would fit better in the more comically toned Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I am, of course, talking about Aegon and Larry's misadventures as they attempt to flee King's Landing. Last week, they were caught by a group of Rhaenyra loyalists who planned to bring the burnt king to Rhaenyra for a reward, but upon their journey to Dragonstone, the king captors stumble upon more troops from the Triarchy brought over to Westeros by Team Green. A scuffle ensues, which allows Larry and Aegon to escape. The Clubfoot hopes to take shelter in the forest and make their way to Duskendale, but Aegon makes his decree. They're going to Rook's Rest to find Sir Christian Cole. Long and perilous road ahead be damned. So now we're going to get, I guess, the rest of the episodes are going to be cutaways to them going on there. I guess
on their road trip,
As this write-up sort of rightly points out, it does feel like the little journey feels more comically toned than the rest of the episode. Like, not quite a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, but somewhere there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cripple and a burnt person going down the road.
Yep.
What adventures are they going to get into?
It's sad but true.
And the Queens want to go chase them down, and they're going to have to evade them each time. Talk the way out of every situation.
What crazy adventures will they come across this week? Tune in to find out.
The cripple and the burn victim.
Rated PG-13. Over in King's Landing, Alicent finally sees Aemond off and prepares for the arrival of Rhaenyra. At this point, it seems that she was genuine when presenting her plan to Rhaenyra at the end of last season. She makes her way into the city's watch locker room, where she and the audience get an eyeful before she finds her target, Commander Largent. She spills her plan to Largent and informs him of Rhaenyra's return. Luckily for Alicent, Largent, what are we saying? Gets on board, but less convinced is her sworn protector, Sir Rickard Thorne. This episode, let's just wrap it up. This episode allows for we'll feel a rare bit of sympathy for Alicent. It's not easy to feel for the Queen Dowagger? The undisputed villain of the story who almost single-handedly started the Civil War, given the scheming that landed her here. But then one must not forget her own unfortunate circumstances. Forced to marry her best friend's father at such a young age, and years later we are often reminded that though she holds some power, she's still a woman in a patriarchal world. Made at every point to prove herself to the men who are meant to aid her. Yes, she's in the middle of a treasonous plot, but she may have finally come to her senses, which is why the scene between her and Lord Jasper is all the more harrowing. The Master of Laws enters the chamber and at first seems to simply be interested in mocking the Queen Mother. His tone immediately turns threatening, however, as he brings up her affair with Sir Christian and her recent meeting with the City Watch, which he learned of from Throne. Things get physical and Jasper overpowers Alicent and prepares for an assault. Luckily, he's interrupted by Grandmaster Orwell, who sides with Alicent and has Jasper thrown into the dungeon. Yeah, that was kind of for a second there. I was like, oh, we're going dark.
Dark, yeah.
Yes, it's sort of a testament to no matter how evil the character is,
there's always someone worried.
No matter how evil the woman is, seeing a scene where someone's potentially raped is still makes you go, oh, she's bad, but
she's not that bad.
No one deserves that.
Yeah.
And thus Alicent's plans continue unthwarted. She finally leaps in Helena, who unsurprisingly does not put up much of a fight. The young queen does question Alicent's prior insistence that Viserys named Aegon his heir on his deathbed, and Alicent can do nothing but admit fault. I made a mistake. she says, of making Aegon king. Alicent won't herself get bogged down by the nuances of the past. She finally gains Helena's trust with the promises of the future, specifically on the happiness that seems to elude the queen. I think now, not of what you deserve, but what might make you happy. Alicent tells her daughter, you, I may yet redeem. Helena, for her part, responds that she would like to keep chickens in the future. Never change, Helena. Yep. The two continue onward, telling the troops not to shoot dragons, soon to be entering the airspace above King's Landing. Also filled with dragons are the skies above Harrenhal, as Aemon has finally arrived, bringing destruction before he even touches down. He immediately kills poor, sweet Simon Strong, but one of the Strong sons gets a hit on him. Aemon, despite the prince's famed sword skills. It is then, as he falls in pain, that he meets the mysterious Alice. Are we saying Alice? Alice? Whatever. Witch. Who does nothing to help Aemon. Instead, she seems to make his situation worse without so much as lifting a finger. Maybe she is actually a witch. Or maybe that hit was more brutal than it appeared. Either way, could this be the end of the One-Eyed Prince? What do you think?
I don't know. Like, was she responsible for the stabbing? Or was that in the fisticuffs between all the people between them? The way
I saw the guy stab him.
Okay, so it was
I definitely saw, when I watched it, I saw the guy stab him. I went, oh, I wonder if he actually got him. And then, because he like swung around and then hit him, in my mind, I was then like, oh, it must have just grazed his armor. So, but I definitely, in the episode, you can watch the guy clearly hit him. Yeah.
I get an inkling that the storyline is going to be she is nursing the prince back to health, and just because of the conversation that she had with Daemon about wanting Harrenhal, he is going to help the witch, Alice, or whatever, is going to help Daemon nurse himself back to health and help that side of the Greens, I guess, win back the throne, I guess, for Harrenhal.
Well, that seemed very
two-faced.
Yeah.
But also predictable and kind of like woman's school, and she's suddenly going to, because Daemon didn't give you the thing she wanted, she's going to switch sides. But also, I feel like that is where this is leading.
I mean, the thing with the witches, at least from what we know in the Game of Thrones universe, is they usually are very like committed to their who they're, like what's her face in Game of Thrones, obviously. It's like she picked and she thought that was the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was wrong. But like very not two-sided, I guess, is the thing. Committed, yeah. So I don't know. You think so?
Not all witches.
Mm.
You can't stereotype all witches by one old lady with youthful magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that maybe explains why she went and told the Dragon Riders off last week, to go back home,
Because she wanted him?
Because she actually wanted Aemon,
Mm.
She knew what Daemon was going to say, so she, has been orchestrated all this, It's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense, I guess, if she was to use him to her goal of... But the thing is also, then it implies that she's already there's no chance I'm getting what I want from Daemon.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to... But then, my other problem with
I think he was pretty,
Yeah,
he very much nailed down that there's pretty much no way that she's going to give you that castle.
Yeah. But then, I just don't believe Aemon is one to pay
He's
favors.
much better.
Well, he's definitely not much better, but I just think he's not one to even be
I don't know, maybe we should put him in a position where he doesn't have much of a choice. He is dying, or at least, bleeding out, so.
Okay. Unaware that everything has come up roses for her, Rhaenyra appears to finally head to King's Landing. We won't see a bit of the thread connecting Rhaenyra and Alicent, the fates of women in this world, which constantly forces them to explain themselves to inferior men. Rhaenyra's council attempts to stop her from going King's Landing, but she insists if it's a trap, as her council believes it to be, so what? What does Rhaenyra have to lose at this point? And thus they are off. Rhaenyra and Daemon land in King's Landing with no problem, as the troops around the castle lay their swords down immediately upon her arrival. Alicent is nowhere to be found, however, as she skips the opportunity to greet her old friend in order to attempt to escape the city of Helena. It is only Sir Rickard who stands in Rhaenyra's way, but just when Team Black looks to be outnumbered, the gold clerks arrive to take Rhaenyra aside. While Daemon doesn't seem to have made many friends over the past 2 seasons, he was able to maintain some goodwill in Sir Largent. All that's left to do is for Rhaenyra to sit down on the throne, but she's unwilling to do so without Aegon. It seems she doesn't believe she can be accepted queen, without the usurper's head. Unfortunately for Rhaenyra, Aegon is not in King's Landing, but Daemon does come across and imprisoned Lord Jasper and Otto Hightower. Now, we haven't seen Otto in quite a while, not since Aegon removed him as hand of the king and threw him in jail last season. But don't get too excited about his return. He must also die to prove Rhaenyra's strengths. She's hesitant to take someone's life, but eventually obliges, hacking off Otto's head before Daemon takes out Lord Jasper. What do you think of the, what are we going to call it? Siege of King's Landing?
Yeah, their flashy entrance, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit, tense because you didn't know what was going to happen.
It was all going to go the way.
It was all going to go smoothly, But yeah, Daemon taking everybody out. I mean, Daemon kind of OP at the moment.
Yeah.
At least nobody seems to be able to challenge him one-on-one. Or multiple people on one. But yeah, obviously, them getting through to the throne room and then the ultimate reveal of the city watch, like siding with Daemon, I think. Obviously a cool full circle moment from, the first season where he was pretty much, running the city watch at a very, with a lot of loyalists in there. Yeah. So that makes sense in that moment and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was all cool.
And how about Otto turning back up? Also,
I mean,
my favorite. Well, I'll tell you this. My favorite part was just the laugh.
When he walks down this eerie, dark corridor, looks through the cage and starts laughing. I mean, I had an inkling it was going to be Otto because that's the only person who kind of made sense within this world for him to have that response to. And yeah, for him to get take a sword straight to the back stiffly before getting his head taken off. I think, rough way to go, but somewhat fitting for his machinations in setting this war up and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It all comes back to him ultimately.
And then well, Jasper gets his head taken off as well. So
please tell my wife nothing, mate.
Nothing. Incredibly clean strikes.
Very good.
And then Alicent walks in right after.
Well, yeah. So with the confirmation of Aegon's absence, there's no reason for Rhaenyra to wait to take her place on the throne any longer. And she finally plants herself on the seat that has long evaded her.
Can I just say, shot of the episode is when she is walking up, but we're focused on
the feet,
on Otto's body and the blood over the floor. You can see a reflection of her walking up the stairs in the blood. That was a cool shot.
I was going to say, I did they made sure to do the sort of on the nose, but it makes sense. It's like the blood covered feet. It's like literally, the soaked blood of this wall to get to this stage, sort of thing. The footprints.
Number 2 best shot in this episode. There's, I think, before they head to King's Landing, there was a shot over Rhaenyra, like I think it from the bottom, and then the camera just slowly tilts up over the face of it, and it's like all black. It looks really cool. So I want to shout that one out as well.
Right as she's getting comfortable, Alicent and Helena are escorted into the throne room, fashionably late to the party. It is at this point that Alicent sees her father beheaded on the ground in a pool of his own blood. It seems she was busy protecting her daughter, she forgot about dear old Pops. So despite the fact that Rhaenyra has finally made it on the Iron Throne, this conflict is far from over. We still have both Rhaenyra and Aegon at large. Aemond is unknown condition, and Alicent forced to face consequences of her own actions. Enough to sustain us for another 14 episodes. That's because I believe they've said the show's 4 seasons.
Got another season left.
Got another season left, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Alicent knew her father was there, to be completely honest.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think she knew he was in prison.
I just kind of question why she ran. What, she didn't have faith that Rhaenyra was going to uphold her end of the bargain? You know? You've gone to all the effort of betraying all your family and you're not even going to take the chance that she's going to come good?
Is it that, or is it just trying to protect her last family? You know? She's less worried about herself and more worried about just protecting because she literally has that line to her about like whatever, like she can still turn good with her, or whatever the line was. Like she feels like she's got 2 sons who she's failed and they're lost causes, and then she's trying to just deal with what I assume that if she'd got away, she probably would have tried to make it to old mate from last season, you know, holding out, who we saw for 2 seconds, who's a germaphobe. Hightailed, whatever, because other sons there, the youngest one.
Oh, the other Hightower that we beat.
The Hightail that we saw for 2 seconds, but her youngest son's there.
James Norton. There we go.
Yeah, Jamie Norton. Yeah, correct. Yeah, I assume that if she'd got out, if I was like, "Where's she going? What's the plan?" I would assume it's get to him. That would make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that as being an idea. Yeah. Any final thoughts on this week's episode?
No, I did enjoy meeting the new dragon rider. What is his name? I can't remember.
I don't remember his name, but yeah, the Joker of a dragon rider. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what are you doing here?
Yeah, and just you waited 2 days and decided that was enough to betray your queen.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. Like kind of chewing him out before giving him a good old slap.
Very much chewing him out, deservingly.
Absolutely,
I think
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Intrigued to see where next week's episode goes.
Right, that'll do it for this week's episode of South of King's Landing. Of course, you can find more Exposure Network podcasts at exposurenetwork.com/podcast. If you'd like to find other articles, news, reviews, and stuff, you can do that just by heading to exposurenetwork.com and find it all there. If you want to support us, exposurenetwork.com/support. And if you want to follow us on all them social medias, exposurenetwork.com/follow. Love them links. Until next week.